Welcome back. In today's episode, we are going to continue from where we stopped from our previous episode. And I'm just going to start with updating our schemas. So I'm just going to go to our schemas. Okay. So today we want to fetch all the products, and we also want to create the items so that we really move forward. So the first thing is, on all items that are being created from app, we need to add the timestamps. Okay, the date when this item was created. Okay, so we need to add the timestamps. So I'm just going to go down. Okay, to add the timestamps, one, you can add created at, and then it is of datetime data type, and then for created at, we can specify the default of now. This one will take the time at which that item was created to be the time, and then we can also have updated at to be the time when the item has been updated. Okay, so we can just go here and we add these two, the created at and updated at, and we are going to do this for all of them. Okay, I'm just going to do this for all of them, and these created at, they are going to help us to filter items. They are going to help us to filter items by it will help us filter items by created at. We can say order by created at, and then we can get the time. We get the latest items on top. Okay, so we have updated and we have added the timestamps on our database, and that is good. So the second update we want to make is that I want to add this on the relationships. To those ones which are having the relationships, want to add this on delete cascade. Now this is not a must, but you can take an example when, for instance, a supplier is, like in this case here, if you're having items that belong to a specific supplier and that supplier has been deleted from the system. Okay, so it depends on how you want this to behave. Okay, it depends on how you want to behave. We can add on delete cascade, meaning that when you delete the supplier, all the items that supplier has applied, they all get deleted, or you can just leave them. Okay, so depending on how you want this, but we are going to do this for only category. So here where there is category, you can just add a comma. Okay, and you say on delete, and then we can just say cascade, on delete cascade. Yeah, as simple as that. You can add on it for categories. If you delete a category, then want all the products to the items that in that category also to get deleted. But with others, we can just leave them the way they are. Okay, then next I want to update is, I think that's it. Now what we want to do next is to be able to fetch all these items. Okay, I'm just going to go to the API. I want to get all the categories that have been created. First thing, let's update the changes we have made in our let's make changes we have made in our data in our schemas. I'm just going to stop the server, and I will just run npx prisma db push. So this will push the items. At the same time, it will update our client. Okay, And I want to genuinely appreciate those ones who have subscribed to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. We are doing well with the videos, and I'm really putting all this energy, and I'm thinking I'm going to be creating 2 videos. We might be starting on some other series. I've been also approached by another client on the e-commerce. We might be doing these 2 videos per day, and yeah, we'll have to see how we are going to take that up. It is a really hard work to do like 2 series with all the editing that is there and all that kind of stuff, but I will see how to take up the challenge. Okay, so it has been updated. I can just go ahead and I run npm run dev. Okay, just going to run npm run dev, and at the same time I'm just going to go and run npx prisma npx prisma studio. Okay, just see if we can start also the studio. And I'll drop this like this. You don't need it. Okay, so we have the studio running and we have our stuff here. So you just go to I'm just going to drop this down. I'm just going to go to the API. Okay, let's start from maybe warehouse from down. Okay, so I'm just going to create another API route. So we have the post. I'm just going to go ahead and create the GET request. So I can just come here and I say export async function, and this is going to be GET. We can also take in the request. It's not a must, but we can take in a request. And in this want fetch the items, so I'm also going to put the try catch. I'm just going to put the try catch, and for the catch I'm just going to do exact thing that we have here. I'm just going to copy things in this and put them in the catch, and then here you say fail to fetch warehouse. Okay, and here in the create, this is supposed fail to create warehouse. Okay, so I'm writing the get request, and the get request is going to be used to fetch all the categories, and you can say const warehouse or warehouses. I don't think warehouses is there, is equal to await. So we have to await db db dot warehouse dot create not dot create dot find. Okay, dot find many. Okay, we're going to say db dot warehouse dot find many. Okay, and we can pass in some things here. For instance, we can pass in the order by. Okay, we can just say order, for instance, order by, and in this one we can pass in, I think, ascending. Let me check here. Yeah, you can just add order by, and we can just pass in the created at. So this date we just updated, we can just pass in the created at, and this one will give us the latest warehouse. Okay, so we just get this, and this is going to get us the latest warehouse. So warehouse is awaitdb.warehouse.findMany, and we pass in so that we can sort the items by the latest ones to be on top. Okay, so yes, we're going to test this, but before we test this, of course, after getting this warehouse, we want to go ahead and return them. So we can just come here and return warehouse. Okay, we can just go return next response JSON warehouse, as simple as this. So what I want to first, I will first go to the studio. Let's just run again. So the problem is we have some fields already which are there, so we can just go to MongoDB. So just say MongoDB. Just go to MongoDB. Just try to sign in. I will try to sign in, and from there I will just delete, because what they are saying is the higher ones. So we have already some items we have, and they don't have the created art and updated art, so we have to first clear all those ones. So I'm just going to come here and sign in. So let's first sign in the MongoDB. Can sign in with Google. Okay, so we want to create all the new ones. I'm just going to go and delete all the other ones. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the database, where you can see all these collections. Okay, so here you can browse the collections. Okay, so we have all these ones. We can start with the warehouse. We can delete all these ones. I don't know where you can get all of them. Okay, I'm just going to delete this. There are only 3, so just delete. Go ahead and also delete. Go ahead and delete. So just deleting all these items, delete them to the units. Okay, just go ahead and delete the units. There are also 3, so just delete. So all these ones, they didn't have the timestamps, and they cannot allow the new ones to be created if they have no timestamps. So for these ones, I don't think we have supplier. Yeah, so supplier we have. Let's delete. Okay, okay, so we have one remaining here. I'm just deleting all these ones. Okay, item we don't have. You can first click there. I don't think we have any. We have category we have. Okay, just delete all these ones. And finally we have the brand. Okay, we have 3 in the brand. Okay, so yeah, and this one add stock, we don't have any. Okay, so we have cleaned all of them. Let me just dismiss this, and we should now have this one displaying now. Since there are no items in any of these ones, you can see there are no rows. Okay, so just go ahead and create like a new category. So I'm just going to have for instance electronics as a category, electronics, and here this will contain electronics. Okay, this will contain electronics, save category. Okay, it is saving the category. So new category created successfully. If I check under the category, it is fetching. Okay, so you can see now it has the created art and updated art. These ones populated. Let's create the second one. I'm just going to create, for instance, the second category we can create would be, for instance, what? Let me just get from an e-commerce. Not overthink so much about the categories. Okay, so let's say we have the phones. Okay, so we have electronics, then we have phones. Just say phones. Okay, this will contain phones. Okay, just create. Okay, new category has been created. Okay, we can just go ahead and create another one, or we can just leave those two. So if you just go here, it will have now 2. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and test this API. I'm just going to duplicate this. Okay, so what we want to test is the API endpoint for the warehouse. Okay, so you can see it is API. Then you go to warehouse, then it should give us all the warehouses using this. Okay, let me just go to that API. So just go to API, okay, warehouse, just like that, API warehouse. Let's see. And here it is giving us an empty array. It is giving us an empty array. Let me first remove this. Let me first remove this order by, and I see if it can give us. First of all, make sure the DB is imported, everything is okay. Okay, and here is giving us, and is giving us API warehouse as an empty brackets, just like that. Let's first find out. We have to db warehouse dot find many. Okay. Okay. We have to we created the categories, guys. We created the categories. Sorry, we created the categories. Let me start with the categories. So I'm just going to get all these this. I'm just going to copy this and let's take it to the categories. We started with the categories. Sorry for that. Okay, so I'm just going to go here and paste that, and I will have here the categories. Okay, so this, I'm just going to name these categories is equal await db dot category dot find many, and let's go ahead and order by, and then here we're just going to put categories. Okay, like just like that. Let's go ahead and change to API categories. Okay, let's start by the categories. Okay, so we have the categories and they're here, two of them. You can see this is working really nicely. Okay, so you have the two categories, we are having them here, and the one which has the latest timestamp is the one that is on top. Okay, you can see the created at 11, then like 02 minutes. This one is 26, so this one is the latest one. Okay, the phones was the latest, electronics was the first, so this is good. Okay, this is good. Okay, that is good. So what you're just going to do is, we have all these categories, we are going to do the same for all of them. Okay, let's do for the brands. Let me just go ahead and add some brands. So new brand. So I'm just going to add the brands, for instance here, for electronics, let's say brands. Okay, for electronics we have Hisense. Okay, for electronics we can have Hisense, so you can just say Hisense. Okay, just like that. And then I'm just also going to create Tekino. Okay, for the phones you can have Tekino, you can have Samsung. Okay, okay, so great. So we have these brands, let's go and fetch them here. Okay, so I'm just going to again copy this. Okay, go to the brands, and let's get the all the brands. So here I'm just going to say brands and await db, and here is going to be brand dot find many order by created at descending, and this one is going to get us latest brands. Okay, latest brands. Okay, then we want to go ahead and return the brands, and then here the message, if it fails, it should be fetch the brands. Let's first also just change here in the categories. This should be the categories, latest categories. Okay, so you can just go ahead and fetch the brands. I'm just change here to brands. Okay, so you can see we have the brand starting with the Samsung, which was the last one, and then Tekino, then Hisense. Okay, great. So just go ahead and go to units. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and create some units. So just go ahead and create some units, and let's start, for instance, pieces, and this is pieces, and we can save this. Okay, we can have another one, but most times these ones they will be in pieces. Okay, but we can also have one other one, like for kilogram, kg. Okay, just like that. Okay, we can just go ahead and get all the units. So I'm just going to go to the units. Okay, I'm just going to go to the units. We just simply minimize the post, and let's go ahead and get this here, the gate, and this one will be units. There will be unit order by that, and this will return the units. And if there are some issues, we are going to say fail to fetch the units. Okay, we can just go ahead and test this out. We just pass here the units, just like that, and we have the last kilogram and then the pieces. Great. So moving on is to warehouse. Okay, so let me just go and create some warehouse. Create a new warehouse. Okay, so here I'm just going to create maybe the main branch, and I'm just going to say cut here. Let me just say Jumia. Okay, main branch, whatever. And then this one is in Kampala. Okay, it's in Kampala, and this is the main. And say this is the main branch. Okay, just create it, and let's create a branch. Okay, and then just call this one maybe Jumia Kasese branch, and location maybe Kasese, and this is the Jumia Kasese branch. Okay, and let me just save this. Okay, so now we have some warehouse. Let's go and fetch all the warehouse. So just minimize. Let's go to warehouse, and we already have the for the warehouse find many. The only thing is to add this, and let me just go ahead and test it. So here just going to put warehouse. Okay, so we have all the warehouse here. Okay, we have two, the main branch and the branch and the main, so that is great. Okay, let's just go, lastly let's go to supplier. Okay, let me just create some suppliers. Okay, so you start with the supplier name, maybe you can just have maybe the Hisense Advocates, whatever. Okay, supplier phone number, we can add any phone number here, and for this one we can just use the fake filler. We don't need to fill any information here. We just fill in the fake fill like that. Okay, they just have the fake fill like that. And for the tin, we can have A or like 5, 6 like that. Supplier code, you can just have maybe SO, and then we have like 3 whatever, supplier contact person, email address, and all that kind of stuff. That's okay. Just create save supplier. Let's create another one. Okay, just fake fill, and you can install this extension if you don't have it. Is called fake filler. You can just add the fake filler Chrome extension, and it helps you filling in all that form, more especially if you are testing out things. You don't need to type in everything all the time. You can see you can just still just do the fake filler thing. So you can add this in your Chrome, and then you can start like doing the fake filling instead of doing this whole hard work. Okay, so just create another one. So we have two suppliers created. Okay, we can just go ahead and create another one more. Okay, I don't mind with all this information, just create. Okay, so you have three suppliers. Let's go and fetch all the suppliers. So go to supplier route, and let me minimize the post route. So add this one, and let me just come here. We are getting suppliers, and this is from DB supplier. Okay, order by, this is going to get us the latest suppliers. Okay, to get us the latest suppliers, and so here I return suppliers. Okay, fetch the suppliers. Okay, let's go ahead and test this endpoint. Just pass here suppliers. Okay, so we have the three suppliers. You can see them here. Okay, so that is great. So with all this, now we can start fetching so that we can create the item. So in the libs, okay, in the libs folder, just in the lib here, I'm just going to create a new function. Okay, I'm just going to call it fetch. Okay, I'm just going to create maybe getData.js. Okay, and in it I'm just going to do an API request. Okay, for instance, I'm just going to say export async function. Okay, and this is going to be get data, just like that. And then here I'm just going to say a try catch. Okay, I'm just going to do a try catch. In this first one, I'm just going to say const. For instance, let's start with maybe the categories. So if I just say get the categories, okay, and since we are just getting like data, let me say const. Okay, let me just say const categories is equal to await, and this is going to be response, by the way. This is going to be response is equal to await, and then fetch. Okay, fetch, and then we can first of all, it can take in two things: the URL. Okay, for instance, we can pass in our URL here. So just come here and let me say categories, for instance, just like that. Okay, and it gets the category, so copy this. Okay, and you can bring it here, and we can also get the const base URL is equal to, and we can extract this base URL. Okay, we can extract this base URL up this 3000. Just get this and let's put it here, and then I'm just going to add it here using the template or backticks. So here you will have $base URL, API categories. Okay, just like that. Okay, so this is great. API, and let's say you just pass the categories. Okay, this should work, and then we can just say const data is going to be equal to await. So just going to await response.json. Okay, as simple as that. And then here we can say return data. Okay, want at the end of the day to return data. And for this one, just going to say console.log error. Okay, just going to console.log error, and let's try this function, see if it gets the categories. Okay, I'm just going to get this function, and I'm just going to go to the item. So where we are creating the item in the back office dashboard, inventory, in the item, because we want these to come to the item. If I just go to new page, so if you remember very well, here we're having like categories. So where we have these categories here, okay, I'm just going to say const categories. Instead of having this array now, I'm just going to say const categories is await. Okay, is await. I'm just going to call this get data. So just call this get data, just like this, and this needs to make this one async. Okay, export default async function, async. So I'm just going to put async function here, and this is and this is a client. It is not going to accept. Okay, it is not going to accept. So what we're just going to do is we are going to abstract all this form. Okay, we have to get all this form away from here, because this form, it is the one which is actually the client component. Okay, if I try to do this, let's first show you. If I try to do this, we'll get some errors. If now I try to go to items, create a new item, we just going to get some errors. Let's see. Okay, so you can already see the error here. Let's see it opening. I don't know if it is not going to open even, but let's look at the error, and you can see here the error, the invalid hook, and it is in the items new page, can only be called of the body function. This could happen for the following: mismatching versions of React, blah blah, use form. But this can be originating, as I've said, from what you have done here, putting this one. Okay, if I do this and I remove this async right now, let's refresh. Okay, if I just go back, I click on the new item. Okay, so you can see here the categories are not there. Okay, we can of course put the categories as an empty. You can get the categories as an empty array here. Okay, just like that. Okay, so we have this so what you're just going to do is we are going to abstract this form. Okay, and then we'll put it inside so I'm just going to copy everything, Ctrl C, I will copy everything, Ctrl C, and I will just go and create a component. So inside the dashboard, I'm just going to create a new file called create item form.jsx, okay, and RFC. Okay, and we don't need RFC, we have all this actually, just paste. So we have this form and we have to have some things. Okay, so all these brands, all these things here, the units, the brands, they will come as, okay, the categories, they will have to come as, all of them as what, as props. So just pass in the categories and remove it from here. We have to pass in the units, they will come, so just also pass in the units here. So just go ahead and remove the units. Okay, and then brands, okay, just get off the brands. So the brands, they will come from here, so remove them. And then we have warehouse will also come from as a prop, so remove the warehouse. Okay, then we have suppliers will come as a prop, so just take them away. Okay, just like that. Okay, so this is now how it's supposed to look like. Okay, now what we need is to go and where there is the form, okay, where there is the form, so I'm just going to leave some other things. Okay, I will leave some other things like this header. It has nothing to do with this, so I can either leave this header this side or I can leave it the other side. So I'm just going to leave it the other side, so just remove this. Okay, and in fact just only leave the form. Okay, remove it from even this div. Okay, just leave it as like that. Okay, just as simple as that. So save this. Now let's go back to the page where we have all this. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to go ahead and clean up all this. So categories, make it empty. Units, make it empty. So just make these ones to be empty for now. Let's make all these ones to be empty. Suppliers, just make these ones to be empty. Then all these, they use from the states, they submit data, all these ones, just remove them. The only thing you just need to remain with is where there is a form. I'm just going to replace this with create item. Okay, so we did not create actually this create item form, we did not export it, so just come here and say export default function create item form. Okay, so now we can just go ahead and import this here. So just say create, okay, create item form, just like that. So this should give us the same experience. And now let's pass in the categories, units, brands, warehouse, and suppliers. So all these ones we can pass them here. So just say categories is equal to categories. Okay, then we have units, they are equal to units. Then we have the brands equal to brands. Then we pass in warehouse, so you have the warehouse, and here it is not warehouses, just say I don't know if warehouses is it a really English word. I'm not sure. I can first check here. Let me first check warehouses. Does it exist? Maybe spelling. Does warehouse really exist? The plural warehouses. I think the word warehouses, actually, I think it exists. Okay, yeah. So the warehouses exist. So I'm just going to use here warehouses. Okay. So we have here the warehouses as warehouses, and suppliers. Finally, suppliers. Suppliers. Okay, so just like that. So you should be able to go back to creating this, and the first thing we want to do actually is to clean up. For instance, this use state, we do not want this use state here. And then let's go here. First of all, I'm just going to change this from client. I don't need this now. We don't need all these inputs here. Okay, so I'm just going to remove all these inputs. Remove the inputs, text area input. So the only thing I just need is the make API request, upload. We don't need all these, though we need the icon, the next image, next link, the use effect. All this we don't need, even this. Okay, so just clean up. You can clean up all these ones. Okay, so this is a clean slate right now. We don't have any things just like that. Okay, and even this has no, so you can just remove even this roasted react. Okay, so now so you can see we have the new item still having the similar form, but this time we have the this as a component. Okay, that is cool. So what we're just going to do is we want to fetch all these things here. Okay, so ordinarily what just go, for instance, categories. So we had gotten the categories. Okay, I'm just going to go here and say await. Okay, await get data, just like this. And then we have to make this one, of course, async, back, async. Now it shouldn't give us any troubles. I'm just going to put here all empty. Okay, just like that. So if I just go back and I'm just going to console categories, console.log categories. Okay, so if I just console down the categories, let's see, I'm just going to refresh this page. Okay, so now if I just come back here and I look at, if I have the categories, check in this main console. Okay, so you can see I have an array of the categories. You get, have this array of categories, which is really cool. Okay, just like that. Yep, so I have the categories with me here. Now we could just go ahead, of course, we do all this. Why are we having this here? It's just because of the other, I think, the O. We don't need this O. Okay, we don't need this all. So we are waiting these categories and we are passing them down. So of course we want to expect to see them here after some time, I guess so. Okay, we will see what we are having their side. Okay, so now to make this work, let me go to create this. Okay, so when we get the categories, what do we do with the categories? So we pass them here as on the select as the categories down here. And if we just go to select input, what do we do with the input? So we have the options. Okay, so on the options, what are we doing? We are doing options dot map. Okay, and then we have this map. Now inside option, we are having this option and its index. Now we are saying option here is option dot value. Basically we don't have the value on the option, that is for sure. If you check here, so the value is going to be the ID. So you can see here we have this ID, so just going to be the ID. And then for the label, we're just going to say it is going to be the title. Okay, it's going to be the title, and this we have to be careful with it, but for now let's just pass in the title here. The title. Okay, just going to pass in this as the title. Okay, so now with those changes, let me refresh, and you don't need to refresh. You can see now we have the categories popping up right nicely like this. Okay, now and these ones are coming from the database, which is really cool. Okay, so one thing I just want to do first of all is let's go back to the items. I need to get this. Now this kind of fetching is what we call parallel. Okay, this is parallel fetching, where you have the items just like this. First, before we go to parallel fetching, I want to make these ones to make this function general. That's why I called it getData. So if you go back to this, let me go back a second to get this getData function. Okay, so what you want to pass in, I want to pass in this. Okay, since they are all in API, maybe we could pass in the only the endpoint. Okay, since they are all inside the API, we could just say start from this side. Okay, so inside here I'm going to pass in the endpoint. Okay, just pass in the endpoint. Okay, which will be this categories. So I'm just going to remove this and I put slash dollar endpoint. Okay, just like that. So it is API, then this endpoint. Maybe we could include this whole thing. I don't know. API endpoint, we leave just the API out of it. Yeah, I just do like that. So we have just like this. So what I'm just going to pass, I want to simply pass in the endpoint, and should be able to fetch for me the data for that particular endpoint, because we have everything inside the API. So I'm leaving the API out. Okay, so let me just go to get data now. So where is the get data? Okay, just go to get data. Just want to go to what is get data on the page. So just go back to the back office, inventory, items, new page. Okay, so here we are going to get the same thing, but I'm just going to pass in the endpoint, which is going to be categories. Okay, so it is API categories. Okay, and I'm just going to remove this. So you just do the same thing with the units. So it is just going to be await. Okay, if I just pass in now to all these. Okay, all these here, and here let's pass in units, brands. Okay, warehouse. Okay, and suppliers. Okay, so if we pass in just like that, let's see if this one works out. Okay, and yep, so you can see it took some time, but a kilogram, we have them. We have the brands. Unlike, we don't have the suppliers, and this is what we are talking about. And this for these ones, they are there. What we are talking about was the problem we have for the supplier is that the supplier is in the schema. We are not calling them the title. We are having name. Okay, we are having the name. Okay, so what we might just need to do is in the create, if I just go to what we might need to do is, let's start from the components dashboard, and actually not in the on the inputs, they select input, so it takes in the options. Okay, but we should also take in the option label. Okay, we should put the pass in here the option label, I think. But then how would we pass in the option label when it comes like the categories? Okay, we could pass in the option label. Okay, we'd pass in the option label. An alternative is to change in the schema. We change it to the title, the supplier title instead of name, instead of the name. Or we could have here the label. Okay, we could have the option label. Now if we have the option label, that means wherever we pass in the array, we also pass in the key for the option. Let me just think through this. So for instance, if we pass the suppliers down here, that means like we are going to select units label, brand label. Now to solve this problem quickly is just change into our let's change into our schema. Okay, so we make sure that all of them, they have the we might need to also just do the label thing, but anyways, for now let's just pass in the title to have all of them having the title, including the supplier. Now if I change this to title, I might just have to manually change even the other one's title. So I'm just going to say title. Okay, and I can just go to this MongoDB, or what I can also do is going here. Let me see if I go to supplier, if I can change this key. I can't change this key from here. Okay, I can't change the key from here. What I'm just going to do is I'm just going to go the site supplier. And if we try to edit this, the schema still won't accept. Let's just try to push this. We pass this as title, and if we change title here, we might need to change also in the API suppliers. Okay, so the first thing is this one doesn't change the gate, but the post changes automatically. This one becomes the title, and if we change here, we might also need to change in the back office. So just go to suppliers, not in the API, dashboard, inventory, suppliers page. Okay, so here in the page, we might just need to change this one to the title. Okay, we can just leave this one supplier's name, but here we change it to title. And that's the only thing we need to do. And let's try to push these changes, and we might also need to delete the existing suppliers. Okay, let me just Control C. Okay, I'm just going to say npx prisma db push. Okay, let's just see what this will do. And at this point, we can also stop this, the Prisma Studio. Okay, let's just wait and see. Okay. Let's wait and see. Okay, so just go and check and see for the supplier. I'm just going to refresh. Where do I refresh? I'm just going to refresh the collections. It is still having the name, but I guess if we create a new document, okay, if we create a new one, then this should change. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and delete these ones. Okay, I'm just going to delete these ones. Delete. Okay, so we have 0. So if I try to create a new document, you can even insert a new document from here. I just cancel. Just go to, we add from this side, of course. So go to inventory suppliers here. Okay, so we don't have the system running. npm run dev, npm run dev. Okay, let's have the system running. Okay, so okay, it is ready. Just going to reload again. Okay, it is reloading. Okay, I'm just going to go to the suppliers. Okay, I'm just going to go to suppliers, and I want to create a new supplier. Okay, just simply create, just like that. I'm just going to click on create. Something went wrong. Okay, name is not defined. Okay, so where are we getting the name again? Reference name, post. Let's first check in the post route. We are in this. Which route is this? For the supplier, we have the title. Okay, so this title here. Okay, just have the title here, and let's run again. Okay, let's just run again. Save. Okay, new supplier created. Create this fake filler. Let's have another supplier. Okay, so you have two suppliers. Okay, if I just go here and I just check suppliers. Okay, suppliers. If I have suppliers, I have two suppliers. Okay, and you can see it has changed title. Okay, so if you just go to creating the item. Okay, if you just go create new item. Okay, so you have the phones, the categories are coming in, right? The units, the brands. We still have the problem of the suppliers though. Let me check, just drag this down. Let's check in the page specifically for, I'm just going to check in the page for items, not API, but items this side. Okay, so create form, get suppliers. I don't know why suppliers are not coming through. Let me just refresh. All others are coming through, even the branches, except the suppliers. Can we look at the supplier? So we have the title. Okay, let me try it first of all. Console.log suppliers here. Console.log the suppliers that we are passing in their site. So onto this page, I'm just going to refresh. Okay, just going to refresh. Let's go and check the suppliers on the console. And these ones are still having names. They're still having names, and there are 3. We are still having the cache. Okay, now this is the problem. So when you are just fetching, and this is a fetching problem, so Next.js is always caching. Okay, Next.js is always caching. So what you're just going to do is, if you go to get data, so here on the get data here, by default Next.js is going to be caching. So right now is not fetching the new ones, is caching the old ones that we had. Okay, so to make sure it is always caching, you can either revalidate. So you can just say that you revalidate this path. What we are going to do is we are going to pass in options here, and the options is going to be cache. Okay, so we have here cache. Okay, and it's going to be no store. Okay, so we have here all these. Okay, just put cache no store, just like this. And now let's refresh. Okay, and now this will make sure that all the time is fetching the new data from the database. Okay, otherwise it is going to be caching the old ones. Okay, you can see now we have the suppliers coming through simply because they are now getting the new data from the database. Okay, so that is something that came, and they so thankful that it happens when we are still just right here. Okay, and that is a problem of caching. So you can just go and also read about revalidate. So revalidate, instead you can cache for about some seconds or some minutes. Okay, we're just going to see in the future we can change this to revalidate, and then it can every time be changing or checking. But for now, let's put cache no store, so that if someone creates a new item, it instantaneously be seen here. Now at this point in time, we have all these, the brands, we have everything. We have one thing that is remaining is though in the page here. So everything is working here, but this kind of fetching we have here, this is what we call sequential fetching. So this is what we call sequential fetching, and in the sequential fetching is where this, because we are saying await, so this is going to await for until it finishes, then to await for this one to finish. So this is blocking. Okay, so sequential, the problem with it is this is blocking. So this blocks, and this we normally call this waterfall. It causes waterfall. I mean, like, this one has to wait for this one has to wait for this one. Like, we have to be awaiting, as you can see here. Okay, so instead we have to fetch what we call parallel. We have to do parallel fetching. Okay, parallel fetching is more faster. Okay, is more faster and does not broke the pass. And I think I don't know if I wrote it somewhere. Let me just scroll down. I must have, okay, it is somehow here. Let me just scroll down. The parallel data fetching. So for instance, if we had to fetch the two things like const artist data, and we have this get artist, and then we pass in the username just like this, and then you also have the album data, and then you pass in the username. So you can see they are not awaiting here, and then they just come here down and they wait for the promise to resolve. So they just do this. Okay, so this is exactly what we're just going to do. We are going to do promise.all down here. So we pass in all these things here, the, for instance, categories. We are just going to pass in, okay, we'll pass in the units. So brands, okay, brands, just going to pass in warehouses, and then suppliers, just like that. Now these ones is going to be categories. We can add data, data, brands data, warehouses data, and data, and then we remove this await. Okay, we just going to remove this await just like that. Just remove this here. Now we can just go and pass in all these categories data, for instance. Okay, we can just pass in here categories data, units for units data, brands data. So you just pass in all these ones warehouses data, and suppliers, just like this. So this one is a more improved version. Okay, this one is a more improved version, and this one does not call for waterfall. It does not break here. So whatever that gets ready here, they will pass it in or they will resolve. So they be fetching these ones as they are resolving, and this shouldn't cause any problems. Okay, let me reload the page. Okay, so you can still see we have these loading in very well. We still have all these ones loading in very well, but we actually did the parallel fetching. So this, the first one we have done was the sequential fetching. Now we have resolved it, and you resolve it by removing the await. Okay, you remove the await, and then it's getting the data here, and then down here, okay, you do the promise.all, and then it will do one by one. It will do whatever comes first. When this one is delays, they go to this one, it comes, and they resolve that just like that. They will not wait for one to finish and they do another. Okay, that is great. I'm just going to remove this console. We do not need it anymore. Okay, so let's just see if we can be able to create a product. Okay, I'm just going to go to pass to check the. I'm just going to be able to check the API endpoint for these, for the items. Okay, we have all this. Okay, now how are we sending the data here? Let's check. Let me check how we are sending the data for this item. So if you go to the item, okay, well, we are sending it as data. I'm not going to get all these ones to do them just like this. Okay, so what I can just do is I will cut these ones, cut this here, and we'll get this as data the way we did from here. So yes, await request.json, and we receive all the form data. Now down here, I'm just going to say const item is equal to await. Just going to get the db dot item dot create. Okay, so just have this create, and let's pass in the data. Okay, so now on the data, okay, I'm just going to pass in this. Okay, so let me just highlight this just like that. Okay, so we'll have in all these ones. Okay, and we'll be getting them from, of course, the data. I'm just going to say this one, item data. So we can just get everything from the item data, and I'm just going to drag my schema to avoid having issues. I'm just going to have, so you have the title. I'm just going to do one by one, and also looking at the, so you have title. Let's just have that. I'm just going to come here. Title is going to be item data.title. So come here and put this. Is going to be item data, okay, dot title. Okay, we have now the category ID. So everything here, I'm just going to assume we're going to have this format. Okay, item here dot category ID. SKU are just going to have item data dot SKU. We have barcode. and this is going to be barcode. We have quantity. Now quantity, if you check the quantity, it should be an int, and you see here it is quantity. Okay, if you look here in the database, it is quantity, and that's why it is good to look onto here. And here you can see this is quantity, like real quantity. Okay, just like that, quantity, and is going to be item dot, I think here is qty. Let's check. You can go ahead and check in the create form. Yes, go to components, dashboard, and create item, and we can just check what we put on the quantity, and you see here it is qty. Okay, you could change this to quantity to match. I don't know, we could just leave it to qty, or we could change it to quantity. Whatever the case, just leave it to qty, so long as you understand that the quantity database is coming as qty on the item data. That is most important. Then we have this unit id. This is going to be unit id. Now if you look at if you look in the schema, you notice that in the schema we have the quantity as an integer. Okay, we have the quantity as an integer, so you have to go here and pass here, pass int. So here we're just going to say pass int. Okay, we do pass int, and this is to convert this into the, this is to pass the quantity into the integer. Okay, then we have unit id, we have brand id. This is going to be brand id. We have the supplier id, and this is going to be supplier id. Then we have the buying price. Okay, I'm assuming here is also buying price. Okay, and here also buying price, and we're also going to see that this is selling price. And you can check in the schema, the buying price, selling price, and buying price are floats. Okay, so these are floats, so you have to convert them. So here, make sure that the buying price and the selling price, they are in pass, I think is pass float. Okay, you pass in this pass float to make sure it converts it into a float, because by default all these units, they come as a string. Okay, they come as a string from the inputs, so here we have to convert them. Okay, then reorder point. So reorder point, if you also remember the reorder point, let's just check here. So the reorder point is also an integer. Okay, so I'm just going to say this reorder point is pass int. Okay, and then pass here, and this is going to be reorder point, just like that. We have warehouse ID, and this is warehouse ID. We have image URL, image URL. We have weight. Okay, so we have weight, and I think weight is also a, if you check, this is going to be also pass int. Let's check the weight in the schema. Scroll down, and you can see it is a float. Okay, so the weight is a float, and the tax rate So this is going to be pass float. Okay, and then pass in here, this is going to be weight. Then you have dimensions, item dot dimensions. We have tax rate, so this is going to be also pass. We are going to have the pass float, so since this is a number, so you're just going to have this as also pass float. And then let's get the tax rate. We have last but not least, description. So I'm just going to have here description, and then finally we have the notes. Okay. And the item is the biggest of all, and this is normally how it is. Okay, normally that's how it is. Of course, we want to return the item here. Okay, now I don't guarantee this to work for the first time. We might have the mistakes, but we can cross check. We have title. Okay, let me just go back up here. Make sure everything the way we have it here is the way it is in the database. So you have item description, category ID, SKU, barcode, quantity, unit ID, brand ID, selling price, buying price, supply ID, reorder point. We have location. Do you have supposed to have location in the? We are not supposed to have location, right? There is no need of location in this. We'll update this later on, but I'm just going to remove it here. And the good thing, it was optional, so tax rate, and then we have created ad and all these stuff. Okay, so let's just go and try our luck. Okay, we're just going to try our luck. I'm just going to refresh. I cannot guarantee anything. I'm just going to put here the item title here, and I'm not going to mind about anything else right now. You're just going to let all these numbers that are there, they remain just like that. And for now, let me see the image URL. Does the image URL needed? Yeah, it is needed. Okay, it is needed. So I just upload an image. Okay, and I think I should just get the small images from here. Okay, let me just scroll down and get some small images. For instance, these ones. Save the ones that can really take more time. So in the downloads, I'm just going to create items. Okay, I'm just going to get small images that can load faster. We have that one. We have these. Okay, this one, just name it as 2. Okay, I think those are enough. You have like the Samsung phones here. Just go down and get some Samsung. Okay, 3. Okay, let's get also electronics. Okay, just get some electronics like these ones. Okay, let's get this here. 5. And finally a TV, 6. Okay, so we have some items to play around with. So just going to go here, try to upload an item. I'll go to items, let me get the phone. Okay, and this, I could call this one from the Techno, and I'm just going to call it Techno phone. Okay, scroll down and let's try to create. First upload the image. Let's first upload the image. Okay. Okay, so the image is uploaded. We have the thumbnail like that. Let's try to save the item. Okay, something went wrong. I expected that. Okay, so let's just go down and see what the problem is. Okay. Okay, so successfully simulated. Let's see here. Reference data is not defined. Okay, so where do we have data? Data is not defined in the route. Okay, this console.log, really? Shit. Okay, so you have this item data, and let's try to run again. I think this is still in the stuff. Something went wrong again. Okay, they just go down. This time we have a more serious error. They say Prisma invocation prisma.item.create, and they have something here. We have all this data except the warehouse ID. Okay, what do they say about the warehouse ID? Location, those ones they accept. So they say unknown argument warehouse ID. Available options are marked with that. Okay, so are we selecting the warehouse? Yeah, we are selecting the warehouse. Okay, we are selecting the warehouse, and let's check in the schema. Don't we have the warehouse? Let's see. In the item, do we have warehouse? Oh no, we don't have warehouse. Okay, so we don't have warehouse in this. We're just going to add the warehouse. Okay, so the way we have this, okay, just duplicate this, and we're just going to call this one as warehouse. Okay, a second, not just like that. I'm just going to copy this brand, go down. We're just going to add this one as warehouse, and it's going to be of type warehouse. So at fields, this one is going to be warehouse ID, warehouse ID, and that means either we have to add the stuff in the warehouse just in a second, but here we are good. So just simply go to the warehouse and just add this item. Okay, we just go into the warehouse here, just add this, and this will take away the errors. And we are going to quickly create. We're just going to quickly run Prisma. Okay, just stop this. npx Prisma db push. Okay, let's just push very fast. That's not the push. db push. Okay, so you just see right now pushing now the latest changes. I'm pushing the latest changes we have made. Okay, and then okay, so I'm just going to run npm run dev. Okay, I'm just going to run npm run dev to restart the server. Okay, and just wait and we see it starting. Okay, so ready. I'm just going to minimize this. Okay, let's reload the page. Okay, let's reload the page. Okay, that's great. Let's go ahead. Okay, let's go ahead and fill in some items. Okay, this time we can try this television under electronics. Okay, I'm just going to go here, fake fill. Okay, I'm just going to say maybe HD television, whatever. Television, and it's just under electronics and SKU quantity. Barcode pieces is okay, price is okay. IT brand, we can just go with Hisense, all these stuff. Now main branch, yes. Okay, tax rate 33, whatever, maybe just make it 3%. And let's try to upload the image of the TV here. Upload. So this one is very fast to upload. Okay, and after the uploading it shows this, it doesn't matter, and they just save item. Okay, so new item created successfully. This is so great, guys. We have it this time, we have it. Okay, let's create a new item. I'm just going to click fake fill, phones, and this time I'm just going to create a Technophone. Okay, and let's upload. Let's change the image here, of course, and we change to a Technophone. Okay, let's see, and the main branch, reorder point, blah blah, everything seems to be okay. The brand is Techno. Here are the pieces, not kilograms. Okay, let me just go ahead and upload the image. Okay, so that's it, and you can save here. So let's save, yeah, save item saved successfully. Okay, so you can just go ahead and also reset this. I don't know how we can reset that. Okay, let's go to create item. Let me scroll down to this create form. Okay, so after here we have made the request. We have already added everything in the data and they're just passing in the data here. Okay, so after this we can just set image URL still back to empty. Okay, after this we could just do this and we hope everything will be now fine. We can test. Okay, let me just go ahead, create a new item, still under maybe phones, and I'm just going to say Samsung phone. Okay, quantity, barcode pieces, Samsung. Okay, reorder point 72, and let's still maintain the main branch. Okay, just put this in the CSS branch. Tax rate, everything looks fine. Okay, let me just go ahead, change the image, drop in a new image, the galaxy here, and let's upload, save the item. Okay, we did not upload the image. I'm very sure in this other one it did not have the image. Okay, and this one you have to make it a required field. Okay, but let's first we need to check. I have to recreate that one. I feel like I can go here, delete this last item, the HD television Techno. I want to delete this Samsung, so that we recreate it. Delete. Okay, so that one is deleted. Let's recreate it here. Fake field, and let's have here the item title, which is going to be Techno, no, Samsung phone. Samsung phone. Okay, so it's under phones, item, pieces. The brand is Samsung. Supplier is that. The main branch, they just add to CSS, and okay, notes. Let's upload the image. It's still here. Okay, so this is the galaxy image, and save item. Okay, so you can see now this time it resets back, which is nice. Okay, to resets back, which is nice. Okay, so now we have all these. We can check our items here. Okay, API, we don't have the get endpoint for the items. Let's just work on that. Let's go to the API. I'm just going to go to the categories, and let's get the get. Okay, let's get the get, and let's put it here. Okay, and it was not easy to create this whole thing. Okay, but we have successfully managed to create the item. Okay, and we just have this categories is equal, so this is going to be items. Okay, db dot item dot find many, we can leave this, and we are returning items. And then if there is any errors, fail to fetch items. Okay, so we have the items now. Let's just go and check the same endpoint this time. What? Isn't it the same endpoint? It's the API items. Save this, and let's check if the server is still on. Yeah, so I can first go back suppliers, reload this. Let's just go and check for items. Okay, so we have all the items. Okay, we have all these items being created in the database, and you can see we have the quantities, we have the brand ID, the unit ID, the warehouse ID, the supply ID, and reorder point, and image URL. You have all these 9 things created. One thing that is remaining now before we move to fetching to put the tables, we have the inventory adjustment. I think that is if we do the inventory adjustment, and then we can now go and fetch in the tables. So the inventory adjustment, you can see we have the one of add stock and the one for the transfer stock. Let's start with the one of the transfer stock. So the first thing is of course to fetch the items. Okay, so I'm just going to go to this, okay, to adjustment. So let me drop this down. Okay, let me just go to, where should I go? I go to app, back office, dashboard, inventory, and we have adjustments, new page. Okay, so the good thing, we had already created all this, so the only thing is to get the, to make sure that this is not use client. And why were we making it use client? Is it because of these forms? Because we need to pass the items there. Okay, we need to pass the items there. So if that is the case, what we have to do is and that was about rendering the what? Okay, so this was about the rendering this the form. Okay, I'm just going to create also the same concept. Okay, I'm just going to do the same exact concept. I'm just going to say in components, dashboard. Okay, I'm just going to create the now adjustment form. Just create a new file, and this one is going to be adjustment form.jsx. Okay, just like that. So now I'm just going to have all these. Let me close the item even route. Let's go to this page. I'm just going to copy everything here and paste it in the adjustment form. Okay, just like this. Okay, in the adjustment form, what we should do is we can just leave actually everything just like that. The only thing we just need is that these forms we need. I'm just going to first change this to adjustment form, adjustment form, just like that. So this one should just only receive items, just like this. Okay, this one should receive the items just like this, and we're going to use this adjustment. Okay, so we could just leave everything and we could just only replace it with this. Okay, if you think about it, it is only what this. So we could just only have this div there side, and then everything remains here. Okay, let's see. Okay, no, it's okay. So we can just only just have this. We can just have inside the page. We can just go ahead and remove all this. Okay, just remove all this here, and we're just going to return the adjustment form just like that. Okay, just going to get the adjustment form just like that, and everything just remove. Okay, and this means that we are going to remove the state, root seed, all this here. Okay, and this, and the whole purpose of this is to make this one a server component. Okay, because we cannot fetch data in the server component just like that. So what you're just going to do here, we can just say const items is equal to await get data. Okay, get data, and we are going to pass in the items. Okay, and async function, so just make this one async, and that one should work. And we pass the items here, so items are items, just like that. Items are items. If I just go to this adjustment form, what I will just simply do, I have the items now here. I can just go ahead and to this add inventory form, let's pass items, okay, as items. And even this side, we're just going to pass in the items in these forms. Okay, so you just go to this form, add inventory, and accept the items. As simple as that. So wherever we have the items, let's remove this. We already have now the items. We also need, I think, warehouses. Okay, we have the warehouse. Let me just confirm. If you see, and you can see the items are loading here, which is really nice. So we also have the warehouse that will receive the stock. So we have to also load the warehouse in the similar way. So just go to the pages this time, and we are going to pass in the warehouse. And if that is the case, we are going to do the same technique we did in the item. So I'm just going to say items, and here we also have this as warehouses, and even here we pass in warehouse. Okay, so here we are also going to pass in the warehouse is equal to warehouses, just like that. So we are passing in the warehouse, and I feel these ones are small, but we can still just go ahead and use the same concept of the promise. So this one becomes items data, and remove await, and then this one is going to be our warehouses data, okay, and remove await, and then we can just do at once const, okay, we do items, and then we also do warehouses is equal to, I think now we are wait, do we have a promise dot all, okay, and then we pass in an array of the items data, and then we also pass in the warehouse data, just like that. Let me confirm if this is how it's supposed to be. Just go to items new, so it is, yeah, const this await, and then promise dot all, then you pass in this. Okay, I think that's it. Here items warehouse is await promise dot all, then you pass in this the data, and then we can pass them down. So if I go to adjustment form, it now also accepts the warehouses, okay, warehouses, and we can transform down these warehouses, okay, warehouses to equal to warehouses. Even these ones we can pass in the warehouses down, just like that. Okay, so if I just go to add inventory, now instead of branches, okay, instead of branches, where are they? So here we're just going to pass in the warehouse here where we have the receiving ID, I'm just going to pass in warehouses, and these warehouses, they should come also through here, warehouses, and you can remove the branches just like that. And let's check now. We can try to refresh, but you can see the warehouses are coming through. We have them here. Okay, so if you want to add stock, you could just fill in a fake field here, a reference number, and this reference number, I don't know if it is a number in the schema. Let's just quickly confirm from the schema. Okay, just go to schema and let's go to add stock. So we have reference number, which is a string. Okay, so the reference number is a string, so that means here in the add inventory we have to make sure that this reference number is a string. Okay, type text actually, just like that, otherwise we'll have errors. So let me refresh this again. Okay, I'm refreshing that and just having a fake filler here, and it's still having it as a number. Okay, reference number, and which form are we in? Add adjustment. Okay, reference number is type text now. Okay, so let's now this time try to register. We are going to add some stock for this item. Okay, on this branch we can add in this. Okay, we are going to add in this, and for some reason we are supposed to create, of course, the update. We'll handle those ones later on. Right now let's just try to create this simple thing here. Let's see. Okay, new stock adjustment created successfully. Okay, that was good. Okay, let's go to transfer stock now. So when we go to transfer stock, okay, we can just create another one, maybe for add stock. Let's use a fake field again, and Samsung. This time we just try HD television, this stock, and we can add on the Kasese branch. Kasese branch, just like that. Then save. Okay, so just go to transfer stock now. Okay, so on the transfer stock, where is it? I just going to cross the adjustment, add. Let's just go to transfer stock, adjustment. Okay, add inventory. Here is transfer inventory. Okay, so they just confirm everything here. Reference number, type, we can say type text. Okay, type text. I think you can even remove the type, because by default, if you don't put the type, by default is going to be type text, so you don't need to put any type here. And I'm just going to do the same thing on add. Just simply remove the type, so that it will be by default text. Okay, so just go back here to the text input. We have the reference number, item ID, so we need the item. So we supposed to have the items coming through, so remove these items. We don't need the items. At the same time, we don't need the branches. Okay, so just here I'm just going to pass in two things. I'm just going to pass in the items and the warehouses. Okay, just like that. And for here where we have the item, we are passing options as items, and where we have the giving warehouse ID, I'm just going to have this one as warehouses, just like that. Receiving, even here I'm just going to pass in warehouses. Okay, text area input, adjustment notes, and everything looks okay. So let me just refresh the page. Okay, let's refresh the page. Let's go to transfer stock reference. Let's just generate this. Okay, we have Techno here, and we have the enter the stock. So this is enter quantity of stock to transfer, which is this one. Select the warehouse that will give the stock. You get the main branch, and then you can just give to the Kasese branch. Okay, and in the future we will just first check if this quantity you are transferring is there onto this one. You first check the quantity on this branch, and then we can just go ahead and now create. Now we have to check if this endpoint is worked on. Okay, let's just go and work on this endpoint. So API adjustments, so we have the transfer. Let's just go and check the transfer. Okay, so we were getting all these things, the transfer stock, item ID, giving, receiving. It seems like everything looks okay. Let's just try. Okay, let's just try to create with this save. Okay, new stock adjustment created, so we're able to transfer. The only thing, we can just go ahead also fetch these ones. Let's create for them the endpoints. Okay, you can just simply go and get the gate. Okay, just simply go here, get the gate here, go to adjustments, add, and then here we're just going to go and minimize this and add this. So we're just going to say, I'm just going to go here and first copy this, so it will be const this one is adjustments. Okay, adjustments is equal to, and you add this, add stock adjustment, find many, and you can order this. So created by, and here we'll have adjustments. Okay, then the error fetching adjustments. Okay, that one is done. We can go ahead and try to fetch it here. Okay, so this one is API adjustments. Let's check the endpoint. Is API adjustments, API adjustments, then we have add. Okay, adjustments. So here just going to see adjustments, and then we have like add. Okay, we have two of them. That's great. And let's go and do the same for the other one on the transfer. Okay, okay, just come here on the transfer. This one is going to be transfer stock. Okay, transfer stock adjustment. Okay, and then everything should now remain the way it is. Let's go and add here transfer. Okay, let's see. Okay, we have one item. Okay, we have one item. That's great. Now what we just want right now is, so we have literally done all the fetching, we have all these endpoints working, and we also have the items being created direct in the database. So next, before I end this video, I'm just going to go and try to fetch these ones. Okay, so when we create, we go to these items. Okay, when we go to these items and we click, for instance, on categories. So for instance, if someone clicks on these categories, okay, like so, what I just want, instead of heading to this new category page, okay, I feel like we're just going, I think we change the links on this sidebar. We could change these links in such a way that what we could do, one possible way, if you check how they did it here, onto this one. So when you click on the items, when you click like on the items, they take you onto this page. But if you clicked on this plus icon specifically, it takes you to the creating the new item. Okay, so what they did, meaning that in their sidebar, if I go on my sidebar, okay, so on the sidebar they have two links. Okay, if see sidebar drop down where we have the inventory links. So here we have the inventory links. If you go inside the sidebar drop down, it has this title, the items, and the icon, and then we have the title, collapsible link. Okay, I think this collapsible content here is where we have the problem. If you go to this collapsible link, is where we have the title plus the icon. Okay, so for them, what they have them as two different links. Okay, they have them as two different links. I don't know how we're going to handle that, but for now, what I just want is, what we could do is, if someone clicks on these, clicks maybe onto the items, it should take them to the items page. Okay, it is to take them to the items page. And if you want to see the items page, if you go to inventory and you see items, that page is there. I guess not new. Okay, not new, just go to items. Okay, so you can see there is this page, and this is inventory item page. Okay, so if you go, for instance, we could just go, for instance, in the app, back office, dashboard, inventory. So just go to inventory here on the, for instance, categories. You see we have this page always that is just there. Okay, and this is what we want to show the table containing all the items. Okay, if I change here to categories and not new, remove this. Okay, so you can see item groups. This is the page here. If I change this one to item categories, okay, item categories, you'll see that this one will change to item categories. Okay, So what I want is on this page is I want first of course have the header, and then we'll also have this stuff. So if you just go like in categories new, you said you always have this. So I want to have this format here. Let me copy this into categories page just here. So if I paste this, and I don't need the form, okay, I don't need the form, instead this will be a table. So here you can just write there table. So here it will be a table, but I need this header. I can have new category, and then I have this dashboard, inventory, and of course I'm just going to say category. So here you say categories new, I guess, just like that. Okay, so if I just go ahead and check, we have to first import this, import the header, the form header, and let's see. Okay, so you can see I have this. Okay, I have this whereby I have the new category. And do I need to have, it shouldn't just be like that. I need this one. Let me see the one I want. I need the one which has this. It is, oh, it is actually on the inventory. I just need this banner here, the one which says all items and then new. I need this one. Okay, I need to get this one, and it is on dashboard inventory. So here on the inventory on the page is where we have this. It is called the fixed header. So this one. So instead I'm just going to get this fixed header, which is having this grid. I don't think I need the grid items. Let's see. Okay, it was having this link, and then it has these other ones. Okay, these grid item, the option cards, are they the option cards? No, it is just fixed header. I'm just going to get this. Just go to the categories. Instead on this form header, let me just have this one, fixed header. Okay, and I'm just going to give this one to go to dashboard inventory, and this one is going to be categories new. Categories new. Let's check. Let me remove this fixed form header, remove React. Let's see if now I go to categories, just like this. Okay, so you see here I have this or items, and this new, it I think should take to the new, yeah, to the new category. And even this, when you close this, it should take back to this previous one. Now here I'm just going to say, instead of all items, it should be okay, so this one should accept also the title. Let me pass in the title here, title to be category, maybe categories. Okay, I'm just going to just go to the fixed header, and I want to accept this, the title here, and wherever we have all items is going to be title here. Okay, simple as that. Okay, so now if I go back, this will be changed to categories. Yeah, So I have the categories. I can create a new category. So down here, what I want is a form showing all the categories. Okay, I need a form that's a table that shows all the categories. Okay, I'm just going to head to we head to Flowbyte. Okay, we head to Flowbyte, and what you can pass in here, you can just search for tables. Let's search for the tables. Okay, just go and see if we can get a table, and we can use that table to show the items. Okay, there is a default table here. Okay, there is a default table with this product name, color, category, blah blah, just like that. You can scroll down and see others. Okay, we'll just have the one which has the edit button. Okay, I think like this one is okay. It has this nice hover on it, and it has this item like edit, whereby we can be able to edit the categories and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to go and get this. I need to get this one here, and they show you that it is responsive. Okay, I'm just going to go and copy this. Okay, and we try to brush this. I'm just going to go in the dashboard, create a new file. Okay, I'm just going to see maybe the data table. Okay, .jsx. Okay, I'm just going to say rfc, and I'm just going to paste in all this here. Okay, I just click to copy, just copy all that, and I'm just going to come here, return this. Okay, I'm just going to first of all change whatever we have the class to class name. Control F, Control H, turn this to class name. Okay, just like that. Okay, so we are done with that. I'm just going to get this table and just take it to the categories page. After this, let's put the table here, data table. Try to put this here, and let's see how this looks like. Okay, categories, we need to see a table somewhere. Okay, so this is the table, how it looks so far. Okay, this is how the table looks so far. First of all, let's just go to this table and maybe give it some padding. Okay, let's give it padding of 8. Okay, I see. Okay, so it has now padding of 8, but the box shadow is extending. So what I could do is I could leave this exactly the way it was, and then I control it from this side of the categories where I'm putting it here. Okay, first of all, I can just do margin Y maybe 4. Okay, and you could also do some P of 8, and let's put it here, and I see inside now. So you can put some margin. Okay, so this is much better. Okay, so we have this as much better. Now the first thing we have to do is try to make this one work for so many of them. Okay, first of all, you can see we have there a product name, we have colors, category, and price. So first of all, we don't know how many, so you have to pass in somehow the columns, and then also, of course, the columns, they will give us what we will fetch. So we could pass in the columns. Okay, let's first pass in for the categories specifically. Okay, let's pass in the categories. For the categories specifically, so we want the category name. Okay, we want the category name only, I guess, and maybe we don't think we need the category description. If I just went here, get the categories, let's first look at the categories. So the categories have let's see the things on the category. We have the title, description, and created art. Okay, title, description. So we can just have the title and the description. Okay, I'm just going to go to this table. Okay, and onto this one, you see I can have here the title. Okay, let's first look for the headers. So we have this T head, and in this T head we have this. Okay, and then we have this product name, the colors. So here I just only need the title. Okay, I need the category title, category title. Okay, and maybe the description and the category description. Okay, I'm just going to say category description. I don't know if that one is needed, but for now let's just do that. So down here I'm just going to remove, I will remove these remaining ones. So we have only two things here. So if you just go in the body, we are going to first of all have only one. So other table rows, remove these other table rows, just remain with only one table row, just like that. Now in this table row we have the title. Okay, for instance, we can have like electronics. Okay, and then these other things we can remove them. So we have the description, which is, for instance, this contains electronics. So that is the description. Okay, this is the description, and then we can remove these other ones, and then we can leave this link, this one, which has the actions, the edit, and maybe delete in the future, just like that. And let me go ahead and see how this one looks like. Okay, so you can see now we have the electronics, and then we have this one like that. So how do we fetch the data like that? First of all, we have to fetch the data and pass it in here. So I'm just going to go to the page, and by the way, it has started raining this side, so if you hear some background, just know it is the rain. So let's first go ahead and fetch some data. I'm just going to say const categories. So I'm just going to get all the categories here. Okay, is equal to await, and we're just going to get data, and of course we are going to pass in the categories, just like that, and make this one async, and make sure this is not a use client. And after getting these ones, I can pass this into the table. I can say categories is equal to categories. Okay, now here we, instead of passing in the word category, we could pass in the data. Okay, so we say the data is categories, and let me go to the table and let's receive the data. And now from this data we have a lot of things we can do. Okay, of course we can first map through the data. Okay, so map through the data. So I'm just going to come here on the row, I'll minimize this, and we're just going to say data. So I will do here the map. I will show data.map. Then inside I will have an item with index, and we can just go ahead here and return. I'm just going to return. You can just return this table row, and the first thing I'm just going to say is pass the key to I, just like that. Then we have this the title, just say here is going to be item the title, and for this one is going to be what? So you have description. Okay, we have the, of course you see it has already fetched these two, and instead of this just simply put item dot description, and this of course you can see it fetches all the description. So the most hard thing that we're having is, and in this one I just want to pass actions. By the way, for these ones I don't know why can't I pass in the actions. Let me just first go here and say action, like action for this last one, yeah, but it doesn't match with this one. Okay, it doesn't match with that. I think it's supposed to be in another, I don't know. Anyways, let's first leave that one out. Let's consider now these two. So how do I get these titles? Okay, because we have to get the titles. Okay, we have to get the title. How do I get the titles? Because what we want is, we might just pass in the number, the titles we want, and then it will automatically get the titles. And we could just say we get them from here. For instance, we might just want title and description. Okay, we might just want title and description, and those are the keys. Okay, so how do I get the keys? Because if you say item, if I have an array, I think we're supposed to get array keys or something just like that. Okay, if come here, how do I get okay, I think we can just get this one from ChatGPT just for a second. Okay, so I'm just going to give it like this array, Okay, if I copy this array and I come here, they say if just say if I have an array of objects, okay, and I just give it just like this. I'm pasting this, okay, and down here, okay, I want to map through the objects and extract the keys and extract only the keys, okay, such that I can use them as table, maybe table header titles, maybe whatever. Let's just see, but I think just you do like object keys. Let's see what it is going to do for us. So it just gets the data the way it is, and then you say const head titles is, yeah, so you say use object dot keys of data, and this is extract the keys from the first object in the array, and this is not so much help. Oh, okay, actually we don't need all the data from this. We only want one because they are uniform, so we only want one. Okay, this is definitely helpful, just like this. Okay, this is definitely helpful, and this will, if you console.log head titles, let's just get this. So if I just go back to in here on the table, if I just come and I say header titles is going to be object keys of data here as 0, let's go ahead and console.log the header titles, as simple as that. Okay, I'm just going to go back here, refresh. Okay, I'm just refreshing the page. So what I want is to go down here in the let's check this. Okay, I'm just going to go down here, okay, so I have this. Okay, so you see I have an array ID, title, description. Okay, title and description. So now how do I because if we map through, in other words, we'll only this would work actually if we just come and do the mapping here. So I could just definitely just do the map into this. Let me first remove this. Okay, so I'm just going to go inside here and do a map, but this is not what I want. So I'm just going to say if I want this map, I want to say that header titles dot map. Okay, and in the map I have the item, and of course with the this, and then I'm just going to return. Okay, I'm going to return, and I'm returning this. Okay, return, and just pass in the key as index, and then here it is the item itself. So here is the item, just like that. So if I do this, you see that it actually gets all this. The titles is getting them category, is having the ID, title, description, created art, and updated art. Okay, so how do I the question will be now, how do I extract the ones I want? Okay, how do I extract the ones that I want? So one thing, we could do a filter. Okay, this is very interesting. Okay, because what we want, for instance, we pass in the title and the description, and it brings back only those ones. Okay, okay, so that means one thing though, what we have just seen is that we can pass in an array. So this array, instead of coming from this item, okay, we could this array come it from it could also come from, we could give the data, at the same time we give the columns. Okay, and that would be good. So I'm just going to pass these ones as columns. So these ones, the head titles, they are going to come as columns. So if I just come here and say columns, and these columns, they will just now come here. Okay, and now these ones, I don't need them. Just cut this. Let's go up. Where are we going? Just go to page categories here. So you just define the columns. Okay, for each we could just say const columns. So the columns we need, and it's going to be the title. So these ones should just be matching like from the database, the title and description. Okay, just like that. And then here I'm just going to pass in the columns. So like this, columns. Okay, is going to be equal to columns. Okay, so with this now, okay, reading map. Okay, that is before. Okay, so now we have the columns coming, and the good thing with this is that now we can customize them the way we want. For instance, I can just say category title. So if I just come here and say category title, and here description, it should just like simply change here. Let's see. Okay, so you see category title and description. Okay, so now how do we limit? Okay, how do we limit the whatever we pass through here? Because if I pass in two columns, I need to also get the data for the two columns. Okay, this has to be very much consistent. Okay, because here we have the data. Okay, we have the data. Let's see the data here. What are we doing to the data? So when you just get the data, we simply map. Okay, let's see. So we have here the data.item, and then we'll be having item.title, and of course even item.description. Okay, and this one looks like the columns. Okay, they look like our columns, but how do we match that? Because we need even these ones to be coming from their side. Okay, so that means that we could, okay, what this means is that we could maybe do a filter of this data here. I don't know. How do I for instance, if I have this array with all this data, okay, so if I have an array containing all this data, but I only want okay, so let me just copy this again. Let's go to chat, and if I have an array, okay, of objects, and then this, so how do I get an array with objects with only keys, with only the keys title and description, is only keys title and description. Okay, if I just only want that, how would I get that title and description only? Okay, let's see. This is the original array. Okay, so now what is doing is that is creating a new array. So he's saying create a new array with objects containing only the key, the title, and this. So the new array is original array.map. Okay, it has it accesses this item as an object, and then return object the title and this. Okay, this is really nice. Let me just do this, get this. Okay, so now what we need is here on the categories, we need to manipulate them. Okay, after getting the categories, so I'm just going to say these are categories. So I'm just going to come here and I say data. Okay, I'm just going to get data is going to be the categories array. Categories. Now, of course, we access a single category or a single object, and then we return. Now, instead, what we want to return is supposed to be we return the columns. Okay, we return, let me see. Okay, so this the columns, let me first take them back to the way they are. Okay, the title and description. So here is limiting them. Want to limit these to only title and the description, the ones that we passed as columns. Okay, so but the good thing is one, we could just actually limit everything from here. Okay, we just simply just duplicate this from here. Actually, this is okay. We have the control now from here. We can just say get back title and description. So we don't need, even if we don't have this one, I can still make this one category title. This has no problem. So now I can just simply pass data now. What we want is a way of manipulating this. So now just put data. Okay, and this should remain exactly the same. Let's see. This remains exactly the same, but the good thing now is that we can transfer this to all of them. Okay, the good thing with this is like I can copy this. Okay, I can copy this to something else. For instance, let me copy this, and let's go to, for instance, to this was categories. let's go to suppliers. Let's apply this to the suppliers, not new. So in the suppliers, just create a page, page.jsx. Okay, and just going to paste this and just change this to suppliers. Okay, so now what I just want is to first get the suppliers. So get suppliers, and here let's get data, and of course here is suppliers. And now this data here is going to be suppliers. Okay, dot map. Now what do we return here? First of all, let's just go back to this and let me just say suppliers. Okay, just like that. So for instance, we have the title, so I want to have the title, phone, and email. All of those three things, the title, phone, and email. So I just go on title, phone, and email, just like that. Okay, and even if I remove, by the way, this, yeah, I think just like is okay. Object.title, object.phone, and finally we'll have object dot email. Okay, yeah, so just like that. Let's see now. Here we have the title, we have the phone. So yeah, I'm just going to say phone, and then I'm just going to pass in the email. Okay, I'll pass in the email just like this. Let's visit this page. Okay, hoping everything is okay. And then here just give the title of suppliers, and this is going to be suppliers. Okay, let's go to the suppliers and we check inventory suppliers, just like that. Let's see if we have some errors. Okay, so here, okay, so we have the titles are coming through. Okay, but if the title and the phone, they are not coming through, and the email, why? Okay, let's see. So the data we passed in the data, and the columns, so here we are mapping the suppliers, and we are returning this new object. You don't know why. If I console.log suppliers, okay, let me just see console.log data here. For the case of these titles, for them, they are going through very well. What is not coming through is this. Oh, okay, I understand. So still we need to have a way of actually passing in this object. Okay, yeah, we need to have a way of passing in these object. So we have to, because now we have the data is going there. Okay, the data is going there, but okay, but what is not coming through is this. Okay, what is not going through is that when you come here at the title, then the second one is description. So this one should just come from the so maybe we have to pass in the data keys. I don't know. So that here it will be, for instance, item dot, okay, of course, primarily right now what we can just do, it will be item dot columns. So we could just do the columns, but now even if we wanted to do the columns, maybe we could pass in the data keys. Okay, let me see if I pass in the keys. The keys, for instance, in this case of suppliers, where is this? In this case here, if we pass in the keys, for instance, we know the keys title, email, and this. How would we identify the key? Okay, for now, guys, I will figure this out and then I will just let you know. For now, let's just take this. We have done some great work. I will just come because I want to make it in such a way that all of it can actually have one table and it works for all of them. Okay, we don't have to create the tables for the categories, brands, units, warehouse. We have to have one, but it is so generic that it can pick all of them. Okay, thank you much for watching, and if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe, so that I can keep creating new content for you. Okay, see you in the next video.